From surgically modified bodies to becoming a millionaire in a day business, do we even know what's real anymore? Every day we are faced with the next best thing when we're just trying to become healthier, wealthier, and happy. What the fuck is real? What the fuck is true? What the fuck are you supposed to believe about yourself and your success while trying to build something that actually lasts? Welcome to What the Fuck is Beauty Anyway, the podcast. I am your host, Jen Carrasco, founder of Raga Studio, a fitness champion, IFBB pro figure competitor, a skincare line creator, and a serial entrepreneur. Well, and I'm an overall business coach. After years of building businesses from the ground up, I am here to help you with society's standards and, well, to use your beauty within to build something that is truly you and truly impactful. So now let's dive in. Welcome back. So today, I thought a little bit this morning about really what I wanted to do for my podcast. Actually, probably the last week, what I wanted to bring out on my podcast today. I've had a lot of questions about beauty again, a lot of questions about, business. But there's something that is kind of weighing on my heart a little bit that I do want to dive in deep with, because I feel it's something super, super important. And it's not necessarily for, the entrepreneurs out there or, business gurus or anything like that. It's more or less just being a person and owning yourself and owning your shit. And, that is literally my protocol. I've always said on every single possible social media that you can find me on is own your own shit, because you need to. In this life, you are here to own your shit and to help others and put your gift out to the world to help others. And I feel like today that's what the podcast needs to gear around. And I want to give some examples just even for myself, It's believing who you are. And many years, I'm actually in the process of writing a book on my life. And not that my life is fabulous or fantastic, but I'm a girl who has definitely been through a lot of shit. I have been through some really messy divorces, messy business, colleagues, lost some businesses anyway. And the thing that I've realized within my years of life, and I'm still young, I'm going to be 42, so I'm still young. But what I've noticed is I own myself way more now than what I did before. And if I could take myself now back to where I was in my 30s, man, I would fucking dominate life. And the thing is that it's because I didn't have the confidence in with myself. And that's something that I feel is so sad that we don't implement into our children, the confidence of who they are and who they can be. And pretty much just owning who you are and owning your shit and owning your gift and giving it to this world. And unfortunately, a lot of us lack that. We all lack of the what ifs, what if somebody thinks this of me? Or, honestly, if I tell you how many people fucking critique me in a day and tell me shit that I'm doing wrong, if I listened to everybody, I would curl up in a fucking ball in a fetal position in a corner and not live my life. And unfortunately, that is not who I am anymore. And maybe, in my past life, before Jen is now, I would have done that. And I would have listened to other people and had them manipulate my brain a little bit more because I was weak-minded. And that I feel is a stepping stone that people need to, we all need to grow out of it and learn that this is our life. We own it. I can't take back yesterday, but I can change tomorrow. I can change my outlook. I can change my thought process. And, to me, I get a little bit more emotional about it just because it has been such a lesson in my life. And let me tell you, even my current situation now, people think, you're on track, you got it all together. But let me tell you, I have the fuck me moments all the time with my mind that go back to where I was prior, that I'm not good enough, or that I'm going to fail, or I'm going to lose it all like I did at one point in my life. And that is something that I have realized now that I've gotten older, that it's just my mind, it's my brain, and it's playing tricks on me. It's almost like that devil in my head telling me shit that I can't do, that deep down inside, I fucking know I can do it. But it's that, I always call it like the mediocre mindset, because it's almost that mindset that lets us stay in our happy place, supposedly, which we're not happy. Nobody's happy all the time. There's no fucking way, but it keeps you in that place of being comfortable and not going out of your comfort zone and doing little things that you're not sure of. But honestly, that's the only way of growth. The only way of growth is to know and to do things that you're not sure of, because how do you learn if you just dive into something and you do it? So, I'm kind of going on a rambling episode, but, let's go back and think about, well, for myself, I'm going to be, let's just talk about Jen for now, right? Everybody likes to talk about Jen. So let's talk about Jen. Why did I create who I am now? And I mean, create who I am now is not that I'm a fraud or, a fake or a fraud or anything like that. But I create who I am now because I create my future. I manifest the shit. I am outspoken, but I'm not outspoken with people that I'm intimidated by. I'm very quiet. I listen, and I don't speak too much until I feel like I'm comfortable to speak. And so for me getting on podcasts and talking about life lessons and this and that, it's definitely hard for me. Before I hop on a podcast every day, or not every day, but every week, I really think about what I'm going to talk about. And what affects me is, well, what are people going to think that I talk about? And you need to get that out of your mind. So I'm going to give an example of why I own my own shit now and why I don't let others manipulate my thought process. And I'm a very, very passionate person. So, I hear Andy Frisella talk about all the time that people think he's angry and mad because he raises his voice. And that's me. I'm very passionate. So when I'm passionate about something, I guess I come off as upset or emotional, or rude or bitchy, but it's not. It's because I'm passionate about it. And a lot of times I get excited. And so, for instance, we're in a purchase right now of another business, and I'm very excited and I'm very passionate about it. And I have, so much knowledge from growing companies on what to do to get people involved and structure a team and get everybody on board and make it a family. And I tend to get very passionate when it's times that I need to keep my mouth shut and not say anything and listen. And somebody came up to me, I'm not going to say who, but somebody came up to me and they pretty much constantly kind of tell me things that I do that are flaws, and that I think with my emotions, and I need to sit back and I need to analyze people and I need to listen and I need to, think before I speak sometimes. And, I make people nervous and I take it in for a while. And usually it's about a couple days of like some really hard thought processes of, who I am as a person and what I'm doing wrong And what can I do as a person to change, to become better, and to, take in other people's, criticism about myself to where I can become a better individual for other people, down the road. And the more that I think about this, I think to myself over days and days of maybe how I can change or what I can do to help myself. And then I come down to the conclusion of, I don't fucking care what you think about me. And that could be a bad thing. Now, if it's something to where I'm harming somebody, it's definitely something that I'm going to take into consideration. Or if I'm being very selfish, which sometimes I always say I instead of we, which is something I need to change. But I think about it and I think to myself, you know what? No, fuck you. I'm owning my shit because I am passionate about helping others. I am passionate about helping to change the world and to change lives for the better. And I think to myself, I'm not going to change me as an individual because that is what makes Jen. And I have listened to other people for years. And honestly, I don't feel that it's gotten me to be my full potential to where I possibly could be right now at this point by listening to other people and muting my voice. And so it makes me realize how much more of an individual I have matured to become. And the reason why I'm sharing this to you is because do not mute your voice. Do not listen to every criticism. Follow your intuition, follow your gut, follow that God-given voice that is inside you that you need to listen to yourself, because people need to hear what you have to say. That is the gift that you're given. And that's why I always, I've had criticism about my podcast lately. Like, okay, you talk about beauty, you talk about business, you talk about fitness. Well, guess what? That is who Jen is. That is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about skincare. I want to educate. That's who I am. And I'm not going to change it. I'm going to own my shit. I'm going to own who Jen is. So really, this podcast is more or less for you to step into the power of who you are as an individual. Own your shit. For instance, a couple weeks ago, I had a coaching call and this guy is phenomenal. He has an amazing fucking product that's on the market, but he can't get out of his own headspace. He is too consumed about what other people think that it's inhibiting his business to grow. I check on his business constantly to see if he's doing the steps that, I talked to him about doing, and he's not doing any of them. And I think to myself, okay, you spend the money for one-on-one coaching to talk about how to expand your product, your business, but you don't follow the steps that somebody tells you to do. This is the growth that you need to do. You need to become a different person. Talk about, taking yourself, for instance, and putting yourself in a whole different person and owning that person and acting like that person knows every single aspect that they need to know to get onto podcasts, get onto social media platforms and speak your business and speak of the knowledge that you have and own it. And I look back and I think, man, he could dominate that industry, but his head is getting in the way. His outlook of who he thinks he is getting in the way, instead of just owning your shit, doing your shit, and acting like you already know everything that needs to be. Do you think I know every single aspect on skincare? Fuck no. I still learn to this day, like for instance, I just took a class on pH balance and hyperpigmentation. It's something that I've thought of, longevity wise for myself, that, inflammation is causing hyperpigmentation. It just makes sense to me. But all the articles I read on science, it doesn't. And now all the articles are coming out about inflammation, and inflammation causes more hyperpigmentation. And I was like, see, I was right in the beginning. And the thing is that I just didn't listen to myself. I didn't listen to the fact that I felt that I was correct in that aspect. So you need to hold yourself accountable. I guess that's where I'm going at right now, is holding yourself accountable, and honestly holding each and every person accountable that you have. Like, I'm in some amazing business groups, like high-end business groups, and we hold each other accountable. We have monthly meetings that we hold each other accountable for our fitness, for what we're doing business-wise, where we need to be, within like a quarter. And those are the people you need to surround yourself with. You need to be accountable. And if you can't surround yourself with those people, you need to be on your own, accounting for it yourself, and listening to people or mentorship that is going to make you accountable for those things. Another thing that I want to talk about is resistance. So a lot of times, like for instance, today, I was toying with what I really wanted to talk about with hopping on a podcast. And here I am, just fucking diarrhea of the mouth as I'm talking, because I'm going with the flow. I'm going with what came naturally for me to talk about today. And so I let go of my resistance, right? So that's what you need to do. Let go of your resistance. Self-doubt. I let go of my self-doubt all the time. There's so many times that I get criticized, and I'm telling you, I get criticized by my loved one constantly. And if it was prior Jen, like in her 30s and younger, it definitely would affect me. And I definitely probably wouldn't speak up and tell people to literally go get fucked. But it's gotten to the point to where I've been through some shit in life, that now I'm to the point that I don't care what you think of me. So with me not caring what you think of me is actually growing me 100 times more than what I possibly could have if I really gave a fuck what you thought of me. So self-doubt, knock it off. Stop it. Just own your shit. Just think you're a fucking badass and live your life like that. And you'll be amazed at how much more you will excel with things in your life. So moving through resistance, that is a good question. How do you move through resistance? And sorry, Duke Diggler's going crazy out there. Moving through resistance, that is hard for me. There is days that I definitely get stuck. But what I have realized is that when I get stuck, and it usually gets stuck for like 2 or 3 days. Like, it's not something that's just within a day. I have noticed that I need to put on a podcast, or I need to do a YouTube or something with somebody that gets me out of my rut, that motivates me, that has that kind of badassery content to make me realize who the fuck I am, and why I have these gifts, and why I need to share them. And that literally will get me out of my funk. Hugely out of my funk. Like this morning I had a funk. Yesterday I had a funk. This morning I said, you know what, Jen, you need to focus your mind on something else. I put on a YouTube channel that always gets me going. And here I am on a podcast, not shutting the fuck up and just rambling, right? So there you go. It works. And then, I did talk about choosing to be strong enough. You need to choose to be your advocate. You need to choose to be a strong enough leader, a strong enough woman, because people look up to you regardless who you are. I mean, You could be working in a warehouse. People are still going to be looking up to you as a leader. So it's owning your leadership. Stepping out of that comfort zone. Stop caring what other people think of you. Own it. Own it to your advantage. Use that negative criticism to become a better individual in that area. So pretty much, the podcast today is just changing your mindset. And I don't really have too much more to go over. It's just something that I felt like I wanted to talk about. It was that gut instinct to get on here and really resonate with you and to go over things that help me to push forward and to push forward blocks. I don't know everything in this world. I just know where I've come from. And I feel like they're great fucking nuggets. They're beautiful nuggets to give to people, to inspire them, to push beyond and to keep focused. And with that, make it a fucking amazing week, you guys, and keep the DMs rolling. I love getting the feedback. I'm getting great feedback from you guys on what you guys want me to talk about, and I thoroughly enjoy it. So you can check me out also for any coaching. It's JenCarrasco.com. It's JenCarrasco.com. But you can also hit me up on my social media platforms. So with that, make it a great week. And like I said, own your own shit, you guys. Thanks for turning in this week. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I hope you're feeling stronger mentally and physically and ready to kick some ass. As we navigate new society norms, business and beauty breakthroughs, make sure to always ask yourself, what the fuck is beauty to me? And know that's all that really matters. If you love this content today, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review. Follow me and get more info on how to work with me at JenCarrasco.com. You can also find me on all of your favorite social media platforms. Now just remember, stay mentally tough.